It's December 2023 and I'm walking in the village in the middle of the Swiss Alps. As I'm walking, my feet are touching the snow and it's making this nice crunchy sound that you know from the winter. When I look around, all I see are snowy mountain tops all around me. I'm walking by the main road where I can see all of the luxurious Swiss cars drive past me. I can't help but think to myself, this is such a beautiful place, I would love to live here someday. It was my girlfriend's birthday 1 month ago and I'm walking to her room right now. I enter into this wooden hotel and the first thing I see is an elevator. I walk by the reception into the elevator, I greet the receptionist, and I know that I have to press a certain button to get to her floor because she is on a special floor. She is working here as a waitress, and so she has a special room for them. As the metal door of the elevator closes on me, I click the special button no one knows about, and I feel myself getting lifted up. As I'm standing there looking into myself in the reflection of the mirror, I can't help but to think of the stupid gift I gave her on her birthday 1 month ago. I walk out of the elevator and I see 3 rooms and one of them is hers. I walk up to her room and I knock. No answer. So I knock again. Now 4 times. The door slams open and I see my freshly woken up girlfriend staring back at me. Turns out she fell asleep reading the book I just gave her for her birthday. It was a book about yoga. I asked her what she thought about the book, but the answer was already obvious to me because she had fallen asleep. So when I asked her, I see her face lit up and instantly she burst out laughing. And because she did, I wanted to know why, so I opened the book and I was reading through the first 5 pages. And I realized it felt like a torture reading that shit. And I didn't know it because I didn't check in when I was buying the book in the library. Let's call my girlfriend Jane. I'm looking at the book and I look at Jane and I see her smiling. And I instantly know, okay, this is not a great gift, right? Not only do I prove to her that I'm a terrible boyfriend, but I also prove to her that I'm a terrible reader. 1 week later, I'm home in Slovakia. I'm gripping the steering wheel of my car because it's really cold. I'm about to jump into a frozen lake at 7 a.m. I'm staring out the windshield looking at that lake and I think to myself, okay, I must be crazy to do this shit. My plan was dig a hole so I can fit in, put the axe on the side and jump in without getting a heart attack. I step outside the car and immediately I'm hit with a blizzard of a wind, bro. It was so fucking cold that I was chilled into my bone. So I'm standing there with my axe in the hand and I'm looking at the ice. And I can't grab myself to actually start digging the hole. So I grab my gloves. I'm looking for the perfect spot to dig the hole that I will jump in. And just to my right, I see a good opening for the hole. So I start digging. As I'm doing this, I think to myself, Jane didn't text me today. So I stopped digging for a while. I pull up my phone and there is no message still. So I put it back and I start digging. Eventually the hole is big enough for me to jump in. So with all of the courage I have, I strip down to just my swimwear and immediately I'm hit with a freezing wind, bro. But thankfully I can see the sun now because it risen up above the horizon. So I'm happy now. I see one little spot I wanna fix with the hole because I wouldn't fit. So I grab my axe and there's this one last swing. And as I do this, I lose my axe in the fucking ice. And there is no way for me to grab it because the water was too deep. So there we go, I lost my ex. Maybe I'm losing my girlfriend, what else am I gonna lose today? So I say fuck it, what else can go wrong? I start dipping myself in that water and as I'm doing this, I can feel every bit of my skin freezing. But I love it because I'm trained for it. I do this every Sunday, so I am used to this feeling. I get out and I pull out my phone, still with freezing hands, so I can't really type and shit. And I see that my girlfriend has blocked me. So I'm like, is this the book I just gave her? That same evening, I am laying on my bed in my room. I'm holding a book that I'm trying to learn from. I can't read, so I immediately think of the book I just gave to Jane. That must be the reason she broke up with me. Now is December 2024. 1 year later from that. I'm standing outside my house, looking at the sunrise, which is covered by clouds and ice. And I think to myself, I haven't learned anything this year. And that's the moment I realized I have read maybe 3 books this year. And I feel embarrassed. I'm standing in there, breathing the freezing air, and I think to myself, I'm such a loser. But I'm going to change this. I instantly rush inside, but I'm cold, so I take a shower. I get out of the shower and I grab a book. But I can't read. And I think back to the moment I was reading the yoga book I gave to Jane. But I think to myself, okay, I have to learn how to read because I'm a loser. I need to change. I need to become a better man. So through a long process, I developed a system on how to read properly. About a week later, I'm standing outside my house at the same spot, looking at the same sunrise again. And I think to myself, Lucas, I have read 2 books this week. And I'm already starting to read another one. What the fuck has happened? That same evening, I was in the gym and I was greeting everybody, handshaking, flirting with the receptionist, holding eye contact with pretty girls. And now I'm doing lat pull downs. I'm looking my friend in the eyes and I tell him, let's do 10. And after this brief romantic moment, I start pulling down the weight. My back is exploding. When I'm done with the set, one guy from the gym that I know came up to me and asked me a question. Before I answered, I had a mini discussion in my head. I'm looking into his eyes and I think, I was reading yesterday about storytelling and how it can affect person's mind better. He asked me why he's scared of holding eye contact with girls. So I tell him a story of the time I was on the ice hockey. And I'm there looking at the game. I look to my right and there is this one girl who's staring at me, eating me with her eyes. So I hold that eye contact and she smiles. I smile back. It was a very nice moment. During the break of the game, she came up to me and started talking to me, flirting with me. So he's looking at me and I'm telling him the story of how it is hard to hold eye contact, but it's gonna be very beneficial for you and you maybe will find your future wife. And he looks at me almost with inspiration. I'm done speaking about the story and he seems like there's this weight that's been lifting off his chest. And I smile. The next day I'm in the gym again and he came rushing to me. Lucas, what happened, bro? Let's call him Mike. Mike told me, Lucas, yesterday I was in the mall. I'm walking and there's this one girl that I really liked. So, as I'm there, I'm thinking about the story you just told me yesterday. Fuck this. Let me hold eye contact with her. So, I started looking at her. And by some miracle, she was looking back at me. I got her number and tomorrow we're going on a date. At this exact moment, my friend, I realized that without me standing in the front of my house, thinking about that I need to read more, this would never happen. I would never help this guy get a date. I would never ever realize that how powerful storytelling is. At this exact moment, I realized that reading can absolutely transform your life. And from that moment on, I was reading 1 book at least every single week. That was about 3 weeks ago. Every single week from that moment, I read a book. And it changed my life so much. I wanted to tell you the story, my friend, because I realized how powerful and important reading is for us to evolve as men. There's this big pressure on reading in the self-improvement niche. But my friend, nobody teaches you how to actually read properly. And I'm making a video about that right now, so it will be out very soon. So I want you to see that video because it's gonna change your life so much. If you like this video, my friend, join us and click the subscribe button right now. If you didn't, never come to this channel again, bro, because this might not be for you. If you want to know what I have read and what are the best books that I found and helped me the most, there's a link in the description, you'll find that, bro. We go above and beyond. Bah!